Welcome back courtside inside the Beagley Center in snowy Youngstown, Ohio, for this Horizon League matchup between Northern Kentucky Norse and the Youngstown State Penguins, where Northern Kentucky currently holds a 4-point lead by a score of 38-34. We're going to look at team statistics for the first half. Fourth on the side of Northern Kentucky. Northern Kentucky from the field shooting 15 of 34, a solid 44% from the field, and from behind the three-point line going 4 of 13 for 30%. They have 23 rebounds, out-rebounding Youngstown State currently 23-14. On Youngstown State's side of things for the first half from the field, they are shooting a solid 39%, 11 of 28, and from behind the three-point line going 6 of 16, shooting 37%. In the first half, Northern Kentucky led by 8 twice, and Youngstown State overcame that late in the first half, going on a 10-3 run of their own to tie things at 32 before Northern Kentucky pulled in front right before the end of the half.
Inspiration. It is defined in many ways, such as someone or something that gives you ideas for doing something, and someone that people admire and want to be like. For the YSU baseball program, that is exactly what McDonald, Ohio native and Team Impact player Jacob Seipert has meant to them. Jacob and the YSU baseball program were partnered together in 2016 through the Team Impact program. Team Impact is a nonprofit organization that aims to improve the quality of life for children facing life-threatening and chronic illness through the power of being part of a team. So I'm here joined by Andrew Kendrick, and Andrew, first game did not fall in your guys' favor. Second game was a little bit closer, did not fall in your favor as well. What was different about that second game?
The first game, it just happens. It's baseball, the teams just, they barrel balls up and they find holes, and that's just kind of what happened today is they got the better of us in the first game. Second game, I think we had a better approach at the plate, but, we just couldn't get the hit at the right time, and that's baseball too. It happens.
Maybe you haven't gotten the wins that you wanted potentially this season, and after coming off of what you did last season and the second year of Coach Calhoun and the players that you've started to bring into the program. You could feel the culture changing. You could feel the coaches are buying into the players and the players are buying into the system. That's a big part of it. And you spoke a little bit about, a couple minutes ago, about what they've got coming up here in this last stretch of games. 7 of those 12 games that they have coming up are at home. Yeah. And this upcoming week, you're going against Wright State coming into Beagley Center, as well as Northern Kentucky. Wright State won the conference last year and went to the NCAA tournament, and Northern Kentucky, either last year or the previous year, went to the NIT tournament. So the two very tough teams that are going to challenge this young squad, and it's going to be interesting to see how they react to that. Here at the roundtable, I'm Chris Colella alongside Monica Kurjan. We're going to talk about some softball, and this, as they mentioned, they played 13 games over the spring break, so not much of a quote-unquote spring break for them. Tatum Christie, as they mentioned, performed well in those wins, but it's really been the pitching as well, right?
Right. Addie Jarvis, the freshman pitcher, she's really stood out to me. Going into this season, we kind of thought that maybe senior pitcher Paige D'Angelo would kind of take the reins, but Jarvis just came out super strong. She has a team-high 2.76 ERA, and she's pitched 58.1 innings, which is the most of any pitcher. And in those innings, she's had 65 strikeouts, 16 of which have been caught looking. So our pitchers are doing really well. It's just our run support isn't quite there. Right, but someone who is providing some of that run support and trying to help out on that is sophomore Lexi Zappatelli. Lexi is leading the team with 19 hits so far this season, as well as batting average, hitting .328 so far. And runners in scoring position has been an issue, not so much early on, but later in those games, correct? Exactly. In those losses, they've had a combination of 108 runners left on base, which, if you look at the scores of these games, we haven't been losing by a lot of runs. So if you can get some of those runners around to score, that's going to maybe make your record a little bit better. I would agree with that. And they have been able to get runs early on. They're 4-0 so far when leading after 4 innings. So they're outscoring opponents 13-11 early on in that first inning. And then it's really been between that 3rd and 6th where they're really struggling to either giving up runs or not coming away offensively either. Right, and the good thing, though, is that they come home for the first time this week, so maybe having that home support might give them a little bit more confidence at the plate and help them be able to produce those runs a little bit better. Absolutely, I agree, and they're coming home, just as you mentioned, for the first time this week and this weekend, opening Horizon League play against Oakland. We will be there covering that, and you can watch that on ESPN3. So for the rest of the show, we're going to send it back over to Dom and Abigail. Thank you, guys. The win against Cleveland State was a historic game for the Penguins. Nikki Arbanis and India Benjamin took turns breaking Youngstown State's career 3-point record. Now, going into Saturday, India just needed
2 3-pointers to break the record, while Nikki came in needing 6. Now we're going to go ahead into the third quarter here. India Benjamin's going to look for the pass, hook up with Nikki Arbanis from the wing, and she's got the record tied right there at 199. Then later in the quarter, India is going to look for Nikki again, and there is the record. Nikki Arbanis standing all by herself with 200 career threes. But India Benjamin says, hold on 1 second. She makes the 3 to tie the record that Nikki Arbanis currently has. Then in the fourth quarter, India Benjamin says, hold on again, clips the 3, standing all alone, all by herself, with the 3-point record with 201 for her career. But stepping in front of that pass was a couple of Norse forwards, and it will be Hamblin in on goal on the near side. Attacking, plays it off to the back post, and what a save by Brittany Hoskins. Pena looks to the middle for Lum. Lum looks in control, plays it right back to the outside for Green. Green back to Lavin, looking for something in the middle. Comes back out to Lum, a shot from the top of the 18, and it's in. Kyler Lum has tied the game at 1 apiece.
Cullen nearly got away. Now he might. Yes, he does. Cullen is in. Scores!
Hard pass off the boards. Then Cullen funnels on. Comes to the goal. Scores! Matt Cullen gives the Penguins a 2-1 lead.
Here comes Cullen. Score! Brought back in by Matt Cullen. Got it, Brett. Save made off fair. Rebound score! Cullen!
It's a hockey night in Pittsburgh. The National Hockey League presents the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Boston Bruins.
Crosby at the goal line, out in front, all the way back. It's Kessel. He scores! Kessel in the zone for Malkin. For Kessel, right in. Malkin. They score! Evgeny Malkin.
Straight up and McAvoy smashed by Hornquist.
Marchand is in. Murray comes up big. Malkin for Alexiak, winds and fires, he scores! Oh, heavy hit Alexiak, thunderous body check. Jamie Alexiak scores! A bomb from well out. Jamie Alexiak.
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect to consistently win, giving up that many shots. I mean, it's going to happen from time to time, and obviously we're happy we found ways to win those games. But no, we just have to be smarter with the way we manage the puck and the way that we defend. But sometimes you need to win games like that. So I think it's a good way to learn from it when you win. But we definitely have to cut those down.
And having said that, to finally get a little good thing going at home, how important is that for you guys who have traditionally been really good here?
Yeah, I think we just got to keep it going. I mean, every point's important now. You look at our division, how tight everything is. So, especially at home, we want to make sure that we're going good here. And, we had a couple good games and want to build off it.
A relief to see Tanger out there.
Yeah. I mean, plays a lot of minutes and a lot of different situations for us. So, happy to see he's out there and feeling good.
Following his dad's footsteps turned out to be a solid decision for Floyd. Even with how dominant he's been, he's discovered there's always room for improvement.
What we really wanted to do this year was limit my walks. If you look, like I struck out 50 each year, but my walks were about 50 each year, so it was a 1-to-1 ratio, and it wasn't very good. And this year, our main focus was really limit the walks, 65% strikes. I understand the game better and understand that, you know, limiting the walks helps greatly, and the strikeouts will come.
The strikeouts have indeed come, as Floyd recently earned Horizon League Pitcher of the Week, striking out 10 in each of his last 2 starts, giving him a total of 55 strikeouts on the season.
I just wanted to go out there and put a 0 on the board. I didn't care about how many strikeouts, how many hits, as long as there were zeros on the board, I was fine.
The baseball team picked up a series win this past weekend as they took on Horizon League foe Northern Kentucky. On Saturday, the Gwins accumulated a total of 21 hits on the afternoon, sweeping the doubleheader. In Game 1, Greg Dunham got the win after pitching 6 1/3 innings, striking out 3 and only giving up 1 earned run. Offensively, both Trey Brightus and Webb Charles picked up RBIs to propel YSU to the 3-1 victory. Game 1 was followed by pure domination in Game 2. The Gwins would cross home plate 9 different times on their way to the 9-2 victory. After losing its last 4 games, the YSU men's basketball team returned to its winning ways with a dominating performance over IUPUI. Cam Morris led all scorers with 23 points, notching his 6th 20-plus point contest this season. The senior was just one of 4 players who finished in double figures, but the story of the night went to defense. The Penguins scored 23 points off of 16 turnovers. But that's all the time we have here on the Penguin Rundown. For news, highlights, and more, be sure to check out YSUsports.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram at Penguin Rundown 1. I'm Chris Colella.
And I'm Christina Sainovich.
We'll see all of you back here next week.